Well, here we go for an absolutely cracking local ride. We're starting at the usual place by the Garibaldi pub in Knapp Hill. Then we're heading around through Bisley, picking up the Canal towpath all the way round past the Basingstoke Canal Centre, all the way down to Vale and on the edge of the Blackwater Valley, which you can see disappearing off to the left there. Then we come back through Ash and Normandy, through Henley Park, where you could have started the the ride, and then back through Pirbright, which is another starting place, the car park in the middle of the village green. But Henley Park is quite beautiful, and there's lots of places where you can take a little detour on the way. And you could also cut off that upper part of the loop, seeing as it does cross with itself. So here we go, leaving from the Garibaldi. We're then picking up the canal, and we're following all the canal all the way around past the centre, which was that little flick on there, down through Ash and Vale, along to Normandy, and then we cut round, and then we don't go back to Pirbright. We're off to Henley Park Lake. You can spend a bit of time in the woods there, there's lots of it, and then we cut back round through Pirbright back into Bisley. It's a ride of about 19 and a bit miles. So here we are leaving from the Garibaldi, and we've turned left, and as we've often done, down Stafford Lake Road. It's not really a road bike surface down here, you can see it's just falling apart all the time. But we work our way through here, turn right, you can go straight ahead at that point, come up at Water Lane, but we follow round. When I was a kid, that was a parade ground on the left, and then we join up with Queen's Road, and we can follow Queen's Road along here. Now, I don't recommend you park in any of the parking spaces down here. It's too fast a road and it's a little bit too isolated. So we're going to turn left here and then left again, and then we're just going to hit the canal by this little bridge. So we've just joined the canal, and you've seen this part of the route quite a lot before. It's very gradually heading uphill. So that's what all the locks are about, but in no way do you really notice it much going uphill. You just notice it a little bit more when you come home. But we're heading up now along this section here. If you're lucky, you will see the kingfisher. You get this flash of blue, but there's usually a heron in the water and quite a lot of other wildlife. So that lock there has a grey wagtail's nest beside it, and then as we head round the corner here, then we find that the environment changes a little bit. It's a little bit more level. We're right next to the railway line at this point. Occasional train will go past, but there's a few submerged old canal boats, and this is a particular hunting ground for the kingfisher, although it's closed at the moment. You can see that little bit's been drained off for some repair work, and they were doing some repair work here, and they've also been topping up the gravel on this canal towpath. So we went up there the other day. This route was done in the beginning of February, but we went up there in May, and we found that most of this has now been gravelled. So past the back of the houses here, and as I say, this mud, there's quite a slope on the left. You do have to be very careful, but with the new gravel area, it's all really sorted out. So this has all been repaired and uprated now. And then we rejoin down by the Harvester pub. Says if you want to stop, there's a pub just on your right there, but we just cross the river, the canal, and rejoin it, but on the other towpath. So we're now heading down past really Deep Cut and Ash Vale, and we're now heading towards the exit, which is down towards Ash. Now just up here as well, they were doing some repair work, and unfortunately we weren't able to carry on the canal, so just be aware. Now this is the large open area. This is a great place to stop and there is parking there as well if you wanted to start there. But the canal has several places where it opens up. This was an industrial part of the canal, so there's a lot of boats turning in the early days. So we passed through under here, past the old boat club. And it's from here that you can actually, this section a little bit further on, that you can cut across to places like Hartley Witney. So there's a lot of good access. Don't underestimate the power of the canal to get you to places. So here we are at the back of Ash, and we're going to have to leave that now. And officially we could just carry on up the road a little bit, but up the canal towpath. But instead, because of the tree work they were doing, we had to leave. But we're running, you can see, parallel with the canal at the moment, and it just runs behind these houses. And then we'll get back into the town centre and cross over the canal, and that's the bit that we would have done anyway. So we now follow on. So we're at Ash Vale, and there's parking there, you can see. So there's plenty of places that you could park on this route. We're now fully on road for the next little section. Now do not head off back to Pirbright initially. So we're going to carry on. We've gone through Ash Vale, and then we're going to hit Normandy fairly soon. So the usual left turn is just up here. We've not taken that route, instead we're carrying on, and that will take us towards Normandy, which is here. There's Normandy Church, and the usual routes that we've taken off towards Putnam, just there on our right, just here. We're going to carry on and pick up with one of the routes that we took once before. So we're heading right up really into Worplesdon, so down past the scrapyard, car recycling, and just up here there's going to be a road on our left, not far from Merriswood College, and we're going to turn left up here, and this will take us back over, back to the Pirbright Road, but we're just going to go straight across it. So there's a bit of a hill here, and you can see we're still on the road, but it's a very, very quiet bit of road. Doesn't look it actually, with all the cars that are coming past us, but I can assure you it feels quiet. Then we cross over the Pirbright Road, and this little road leads up to Henley Park, and there's parking spaces at the end, so you don't need to park on the side of the road here. There's car parking here, you can see quite a lot of it, and we just headed out here, and there's a bit of forest that you can cycle around. There's lots of paths, and it's quite a nice place to go if you've got a gravel bike or you've got mountain bikes. You've got kids, you want to take them somewhere. You can see it's a bit muddy, but that adds to the fun, doesn't it? So we stopped here, had a cup of tea, piece of flapjack, and enjoyed watching the birds. There was a great crested grebe out in the water, and now, rather than retracing our steps, we're going to work our way round the back of Pirbright. So we just retrace back to that car park, because it's not possible to actually go round the lake. So here we go, back through that little chicane and back to the parking, but instead of turning right and returning to the Pirbright Road, going straight over, and then that bit of road is blocked at that ford, but we turn left and we go through the woods, and you can now follow this woods. Again, it's part of that gravel section that you might want to do on your mud bikes, and we follow through the forestry, and it's surprisingly long actually. So we're now against the military range, so there's a lot of shooting that can go on the left. So if the red flags are up, please don't be tempted to go anywhere near the left hand side. I know there's some really great off-roading opportunities down there, but it can be extremely dangerous, and there's also some grenade rages around which are pretty grim. But we're heading off now around the edge of the military land back towards Pirbright, and a lot of people who've lived in the area for years just don't know that all of this military land is available for cycling on. So we're now heading back. This is the old Pirbright road. I knew it years ago, and we're now heading back into the centre of Pirbright. We pick up, follow round. There's your parking on the right in the green, lots of it there, but we're going to go past now. On the right here is the military cemetery, the Commonwealth War Graves Cemetery. Fantastic place to go and visit. Everybody should go there. Beautiful gardens. And then we get back to this tunnel, which is right next to the canal. Now that we could have turned left back there and gone to where we started, but instead we're just going to go through Brookwood. And you could go up to the traffic lights and turn left, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take a slightly different route. We're going to turn left here, and we're going to go over the canal again. So again, you could have picked up the canal at the far end by the tunnel, and we're going to go through Sheets Heath, round the back. This is the walking to Brookwood station for commuters who live in Knapp Hill and the edge of Bisley, and we track our way down over the mud. There's a bit of a stile down here, but you can get past it. It's just a low bridge. They've taken the stile out. Then back up onto the edge of Sparvel Road and the new estate, but we're going to follow round, take a few footpaths and come out on the edge of Grindstone Crescent. Here we go. Follow our way through, and we could have gone left back onto the canal and picked up Stafford Lake Road, but instead we're going to just stay on the path here and cut across down the little footpath into Ivy Dean, and opposite the church with the community fridge, head up here and there's the Garibaldi. So a really nice route, not difficult to do. That top little loop you can cut out easily and start your route at Pirbright in the town there, and you'll see it's mostly canal towpath, but there's lots of places where you can go off route. So over near the Basingstoke Canal Centre you can see all that green section with lots of little crossroads, and that's another place that you can do. So thank you for joining us on this ride. Don't forget to download the GPX file from Komoot and visit our Komoot page. Like this video please, and subscribe to us, and that helps tremendously, and we'll join you on the next ride. We've got a couple more local ones, then I think we'll do the Tarka Trail in Devon, and then from there we're going to go back up to Yorkshire and try a few more rides up there. Definitely worth it. Thank you for joining us, and if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments down below. We look forward to reading them, and we look forward to you joining and maybe meeting up with you on a ride one day. Okay, take care, bye.